line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No! That's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them, huh? I mean, what the heck? Look at you guys, a Colorado Rocky. MVP of the All-Star game. Yeah, buddy. Elias Diaz, a former Albuquerque Isotope. MVP with a big home run. National League snaps a 9-game losing streak. I'm not sure we all got to see it. I'm a little cranky about this whole situation finally, now that it affects me. But National League beats the American League in the Midsummer Classic on a beautiful night in Seattle, 3-2. And Colorado's rookie catcher, Elias Diaz, is the MVP. What up? Good day, Merry Wednesday, and welcome to your opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
What it do?
How you feeling about that?
Feeling all right.
I mean, a Colorado Rocky. Can't beat them. Let's join up with them and let's see what we can do with it. You guys feel good? What's up, DC? It's a Rocky.
That's a Rocky. That's the most surprising thing of the day, and it's 7 a.m., so great.
I don't know if he ever was nice, though.
Was he not?
He came over from Pittsburgh.
All right. He might not have been. Somebody told me last night he was.
Maybe had a rehab
and then you just confirmed it before we went on the air with me.
Didn't say anything. Silent, because I was like, I don't know the answer to that question.
What you think of the All-Star game? You like it? Nice plays?
Really enjoyed the moments of everyone trying to figure out where Shohei Ohtani was going to go, and then the players no commenting when they were asked about it. I think one of the best moments was Shohei Ohtani comes to the plate. The Mariners crowd just starts chanting, come to Seattle, on that exact moment. the broadcast, they were talking with Freeman and Mookie Betts. And they're like, hey, guys, you want to start a chant of your own? What do you think? And they're like, oh, well, that's tampering. But, yeah, we'd love him in LA.
Cute. So I was going back and forth on devices. This is the first time this Nexstar DirecTV thing really kind of affected me. You're not DirecTV anymore, right?
Nope.
And I know Nexstar is trying to hold out and say, well, to leave DirecTV is a lot easier for me to not watch their programming than it is to change my television carrier. Although with football coming and the red zone not being on DirecTV, so I went to Fox Sports, and then your free trial runs out after an hour, and then I opened up another window, and they don't let you sign in because it's not available in your mark. They got to figure this out. Is anybody else having this problem? Anybody with DirecTV can't watch Fox, can't watch CBS, can't watch CW. Like I couldn't watch any of it. I put it on the computer and kind of carried it around, and then it went away. And it that's the first time it got to me. You know why? Because it affected me.
Now
like I can watch other news. I miss my guy Van Tate. I do. I don't get to see Van Tate, but that's why we had him on last week. We caught up with him then. But somebody else had to be affected by this. I haven't even checked the text line and the emails. Come on in on the All-Star game. 505-246-0610 is how you get here. It's area code 505-246-0610. It is the sports animal hotline and text line. We're going to get into it today and what your thoughts on the All-Star game. I'm just moving it around, man. I'm just trying to make it better. Sorry, Adrian. I'm playing with your cameras over here on the simulcast. You can watch the show. It's available on YouTube channel for ProView Networks. It's available if you have Comcast, not on DirecTV, but on Comcast channel 28. What is it? No, it's not 28. What is it? What channel is it again?
26.
Thank you. I think that's right. And it's available on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. All right. So what else did you like about the All-Star game? You guys, did you watch the whole thing?
No.
You didn't? All right.
It was in and out of it.
All right. 3-2. Does it matter that the National League finally won? They broke the 9-game win streak. Is it it's a big deal? Do you root? Addie always asks me, who are we rooting for, Dad? I'm like, I don't care.
Just watching.
Do you root for your teams, the league? Are you a National League guy because your team's a National League team?
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to you?
I just want to see big plays.
Well, there were some nice plays.
Yeah, I honestly, that's what I want is great plays, and whoever makes them is who I'm rooting for.
I had Big Poppy and A-Rod sitting down in front row eating popcorn, sharing popcorn. Big Poppy didn't get the joke when Joe Davis said, you're moving in next door to who's moving in next door to somebody. I forgot who it was. And Joe Davis said the property values just went down. He's like, no, don't tell me that. No, you don't get the joke. You missed it because never mind. Share the popcorn. It was fine. It was an all-star game. We'll get back to it. I think the news that came out of the all-star game was maybe more significant to this whole thing. One, that the Major League Baseball may expand once the Rays stadium situations are settled. And B, they may tweak the pitch clock because the union is asking for a little more time in situations before the playoffs. And so we'll get into both those. I believe that Major League Baseball will be the first to expand permanently outside the United States and Canada. Do you agree with that?
Where are we looking? Where are they looking?
I think they're looking maybe Mexico City. The one that really interests me, and I don't think I hate this, is San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is a United States territory, but it's not, the contiguous 48 states. The continental United States. I look at it I think there's so many Latin players in the game, right? Yes. And I know that they want to get into those markets. I just don't know how great of an idea I think it is. Now, baseball maybe more so works than football. And I've told you, I don't know that I think it's a great idea to take young men with a bunch of money and put them in places that they don't know the language, but then, the foreign influence into the game, how many are young men with lots of money that don't speak English are here, and it seems to work. If you're going to go in and nurture them and take care of them and put them in positions to succeed, I'm starting to soften on that whole stance. And I don't know if Mexico City's the right place. Puerto Rico sounds right. They want to go back. It sounds like baseball wants to go back to Montreal. There's a appetite to go to Vancouver. I know Nashville and Salt Lake City really want teams. San Juan, Puerto Rico, Mexico City, Las Vegas. Do you have any thoughts, any preferences on any of it?
Well, they're in Vegas.
They're going to be in Vegas, yeah. The A's are going to be in Vegas.
Puerto Rico is fascinating.
Yes.
Based on the infrastructure.
Yes.
Do they have, or could they have what's needed?
Well, they would.
To support a Major League Baseball team. If we just saw what happened with the ownership group wanting to get out of Oakland. Who's going to be the one to lead that?
Is there going to be enough corporate support locally, right? The baseball will do enough to make sure that you've got the stadium, the support to build it, but do they have enough infrastructure, corporate support, local support to support 82 games a year, 81 games a year, right?
Pricing it would cost.
Because I know that you're sitting here going, why not
Baseball.
Albuquerque, New Mexico then, right? Well, because we can't
You
build
have to probably pay more than $12 to park.
Yeah, so we can barely build a new Blake's, let alone a new stadium, for crying out loud, right? But yeah. But you look at some of these markets, Salt Lake City, trying to get into it. I think there's a lot of interesting markets. I believe it's going to go back to Montreal. I really believe Montreal is going to get it. The Expos fans, they just had a horrible stadium. I don't know that I think that they're completely analogous to Seattle losing the Sonics, which is another expansion conversation. But I thought it was a fan base that it was a bummer when they lost their team, when the Expos became the Washington Nationals. So that was the 1976 Olympic Stadium that they were playing in. It wasn't even that old at the time, but just wasn't a baseball stadium. It was a big, cavernous, bad baseball park. And that's where we were. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Jimmy, good morning. Get us started. You're on the opening drive. Hi, Jimmy.
Good morning. Hey, All-Star game last night. Great. Baseball is the only sport with a watchable All-Star game, in my opinion. But one thing I would love to see, now that the All-Star game doesn't, determine home advantage for the World Series, everyone's got the DH. You talk about increasing the international appeal of the game. What if we went U.S. versus the world for the MLB All-Star game? I think that could make things more interesting and, give, I don't know. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right. No, Jimmy, I appreciate that. Thank you. What do you think of that?
I'm always down for that.
There was that conversation in the NBA, right? And the numbers are skewed. And I don't know how skewed the numbers are in Major League Baseball, and it would I don't know, does it skew it any more than say I've got to take somebody from every team and put them on an all-star team? And I would guess that Major League Baseball is close to 50-50.
It wouldn't be the
American-born.
exact numbers, but you could always work around it, like, oh, this dude's grandpa's from whatever, so put him on the world team and make it work. And I think these little things every once in a while to a format are great, because the NBA does it with the futures game.
Yep.
They do world versus United States, maybe roll that over. Same thing, just switch it up. This is the time.
I'll ask you
Mix and
two
match.
questions
Let's go.
on this. A, is it broken? Does it need to be fixed? And I don't know that I think it is. Is the All-Star game broken where you need to fix the format?
It's not broken, but I think in this day and age where every day there's interleague play,
Freshen something up?
AL versus NL is not as meaningful.
Okay, that leads me directly into where I would go next. You just had the World Baseball Classic. So is that somewhat the same thing, or is it different?
That's not every year.
It's every other year, right? I believe every other year? The WBC? I don't know. I don't hate it. I could listen to it. I could entertain it. I'd like to walk through it a little bit, because I think it's a good idea that you're always looking to freshen things up a little bit. So I don't hate that. All right, you got comments on it. We're going to continue to hear from you at 505-246-0610 as you ring the phone. We're going to get into NBA expansion today as well. But when we come back, do they need to tweak the pitch clock? Most of you think it's working. The union says it's not really working, and here's why. Should we change it for the playoffs? What Rob Manfred said to that. He's the commissioner. That's next. It's the opening drive. Happy Wednesday. Glad you're with us on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us.
On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
3-2 last night, National League over American League. Colorado Rockies catcher. Elias Diaz is your most valuable player. How about that? Now you saw that coming. What were the odds on that? Like, when you bet who's going to be the MVP?
Probably very, very low for the 32-year-old catcher.
We'll tell you, usually you got to go someone that's sitting on the bench if you're going to make that bet, because somebody's, if it's a close game, it's going to be somebody who gets a base hit late in the game, somebody who drives in the run late. Unless it's a blowout. I mean, it's not going to be a pitcher, right? Because they're going to pitch 1 inning max. So, I mean, if you're betting on, don't come to me for betting advice. But, I mean, whatever. All right, so let's do this before we get into the pitching stuff. Dan, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Dan. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff. JJ, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, what's up, Daniel? How are you?
Oh, pretty good, man. I'm Vertical. Hey, they fired up the Sphere in Vegas, man. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Magnificent. Oh, my gosh, that thing's incredible, bro. And you know what tripped me out is they're saying that Formula One is going to have to redo those roads every year for like 3 or 4 years or something to have some weird contract. So if you're in Vegas, be prepared for road work for the next 4 or 5 years.
Already happening.
It's pretty frustrating and it's a mess.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah, Formula One is going to be awesome. Hey, so I just wanted to share something real quick. When I was a freshman in high school and I went onto the football team, we had what was called Initiation Day. And one of my buddies, who was an older guy, he says, Mel Yordy, he said, "Don't worry, Dad, don't worry. I'll pick you. I'll pick you on Initiation Day, and I won't let these guys, terrorize you." And I was like, "Oh, right on, Mel." Well, yeah, Mel terrorized me, right? He made me put on a little skirt and a little top, a wig, I remember, and some Chuck Taylors and long white tube socks. I had to follow him to all his classes all day, and he was not abusive, but he was cold-blooded to me all day. And then at lunchtime, they made me stand up on one of the tables and sing a song or something stupid like that. Right. But that was the extent of our initiation and I guess that was hazing.
Yeah, it probably was. You were fully clothed, though. You were clothed, right? You were fully clothed.
Yeah. And my point is that we did have an initiation thing, when we were young, and getting into the football scene, but that was the extent of it.
All right, so I'm gonna stand by. So what do you guys think of that? How would that be if that went on today? They dressed up in a skirt and tube socks and like a cheerleader. Dan, is that kind of where you're going with this?
Exactly. It's exactly what it was, and just trying to really embarrass.
All right, how would that go today?
Not very well. And they did.
Yeah.
But when I look back on it, and God rest his soul, Mel's not with us anymore, but he already had in his mind, oh boy, I'm going to embarrass the heck out of my buddy here, and it worked. But that didn't bring us. It created camaraderie and it created the pecking order. But it wasn't. What we're talking about now, not even anywhere close to it,
Agree with you. No, appreciate the story. Thank you, Dan. Good to hear you.
Yeah.
Be well.
Later.
All right. It's kind of yesterday's topic, but I'll go there. We talked about the hazing and what's acceptable and initiations and rituals and all that. All right. Let's say you heard that story and that happened at Northwestern or at Pick Your Place. How do you feel about that? He's laughing at it all these years later. Okay. He thought it was great. In his words, right? It developed camaraderie. Pecking order. He's laughing at it. It was embarrassing, but it was fun hazing. All right, that happens.
We
today.
watch Hard Knocks, and then the rookies have to do a performance or things like that. All stuff like that goes on all over the place.
Okay.
What he's talking about is Powerpuff still a thing?
Powder-puff football, where the in high school where the cheerleaders play the game and the dudes are the cheerleaders.
Like something similar, to that, where everyone was involved, and I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know if it is still a thing. I have no idea.
It's
a great question, though.
When I was in high school, like things along those lines, I think everyone sees it and goes, "Oh, that's funny." You're not firing someone or shutting down a program for that.
All right, but so in this case, you would force a freshman football player, to go to school dressed in a skirt, and I don't know if you said a wig, tube socks, whatever, stand on a table, sing a song at lunchtime. How do we feel about that in today's day and age? I mean, there's a part of me that says it's insanely harmless, and there's going to be a part of me that says, well, somebody's going to tell me it's insensitive or offensive, right? Is it offensive?
No, but if someone did that to my kid, though, I don't think I'd like it one bit.
You wouldn't?
No, I would not.
Not in front of the whole school. I think that if you're doing it like at practice or something, and you have like a skip plan, but all right, guys got to do NSYNC or something.
Yeah, that would be okay. But yeah, if you're on the lunch table and they're just making fun of you, that's not all right.
So it's a different day, right? And I don't know how old Dan is, but I'm going to guess it's north of 30 years ago when he was in high school, and this went down. So your kid comes home from football practice and says, "How was your day, son?" Well, I got initiated today to the football team. Oh, and Daddy DC goes, really? What happened? I had to wear this skirt today and tube socks and dress up as a cheerleader, and I stood up on the table at lunch and had to sing a song. And Daddy DC goes, "How do you feel about that?" You go, "The coach? What are you doing?"
Well, I'm asking him what he thinks. If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. if he's comfortable with himself and understands the situation, the initiation of it,
Yeah.
I can get past that. But if he comes home crying, that's a big problem.
Daddy JJ feels how?
It's a lot on how my son would feel, because to me it is a big difference between doing it in your team and then being forced to do it like at the whole school. I think that is a huge difference, and that's most of the time we do see these are
Within the
team
locker room.
isolated things.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I listened to him all these years later, and I mean, was there one bit of remorse, one bit of, I don't know, after effect? Did you hear anything negative of Dan telling you that story?
No, it felt positive, really.
He felt like he loved that story. We recalled it with, the gentleman had since passed and loved him, and you're my guy. And yeah, he says, I got hazed a little bit, but I got to tell you, I mean, yeah, it's pushing the borders of initiation. If you're going to tell me that's the hazing after what I just heard the last couple of days,
feels pretty minor.
Like, damn, okay. Yeah. On the scale of hazing, it feels it's all I'm trying to find perspective on it, right? I don't know that would be considered to be okay today.
No,
in fact, I would tell you it wouldn't be considered to be okay.
I think you're right about that.
Would a coach get fired for that?
At the high school level, you would think so.
So a coach somehow, and there's no way a coach doesn't know if a kid's being forced to go around school like that. So a coach would get fired for that.
A lot of high school coaches are teachers, so it'd be kind of hard not to know it.
Think of some of the stuff you went through in high school and in college initiations.
See, I would have had fun with it. I personally take myself back 25 years. I would have been totally cool. I had a ton of fun, probably met some girls along the way.
So if that happened to you 25 years ago, you'd have been good with it.
Totally,
I think I would have too. And the other part of that would be it was probably accepted and done by not just you, but everybody before
Probably
you.
couldn't do it in Florida though.
Fair enough. Although back in the day, you could do it in Florida. But that would have been one where everybody would have known what's going on. Oh, he's getting initiated to the football team, right? I mean, you go back watching some old sitcoms. I don't care. I mean, never mind All in the Family with Archie Bunker. You guys ever watch Archie Bunker and All in the Family? Like it's some of the funniest stuff, but absolutely, there's no way it would go today.
They use that in one of my communications classes, kind of a shock value type piece.
Seriously,
yeah,
dude. I remember sitting there on Sunday night. My granddad loved that show. Archie Bunker was one of the most unbelievably funny characters ever made, but racist as hell. Bigoted. I mean, pick your ist, right? Pick it. But that was the day. Like, could you get away with it now? I think, to your point or whoever's point it was, could have been mine, that it was accepted. Well, that's all the football. Okay, he's getting initiated today, and JJ's getting initiated tomorrow, and that's what they do to go on the football team, and isn't that cute? And ha ha ha. But there would be someone who would be offended by that today. In every single high school in America, probably, or at least the majority of them, somebody would be offended by that. It's an interesting story, man. But you listen to him all these years later, and he told that story with absolute joy in his heart.
He was even proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
This is what we did, and this is what happened to me, and yeah.
Total 180. Because he enjoyed telling that story.
Now, all those years ago, however many years ago, would this be acceptable? What we're hearing, what went on in this Northwestern locker room? Because I'm going to guess back in the day, there probably wasn't a lot of stripped down naked stuff and go running. It was probably way more of that. And somehow it evolved into what we heard at New Mexico State, what we heard at Northwestern, right? It probably was back in the day. Kind of silly stuff, dress up as a cheerleader and walk around school and follow me at school. And somehow it evolved into dudes getting naked and running the shower and rubbing against whatever we're hearing. And the disgusting stuff that we heard down at New Mexico State. I mean, I don't know, man. Do you believe there's any value? He said, the other thing he said, it built camaraderie, pecking order. Do you believe
yes, there's things that you can do where you don't have to physically assault people. to initiate.
Right. We're all the
Yeah.
physical assault.
And
is
so
too
I
much.
think the word hazing definitely has bad connotation. But every single program, everyone does something that brings teams together.
Yeah. It's a good story, man. All right. I'm gonna hit you. I know I teased you with this, and we took the phone call. So when we come back, we're gonna get into this. Should Major League Baseball change the rules? DC looked up the percentage. The caller early in the first segment said they should change baseball's All-Star rules to U.S. versus international. I'll give you what the percentage of U.S. players are this year in the Major League Baseball as opposed to what they are internationally. And then should baseball change the rules? That's what the union wants, what the commissioner said in regards to changing the rules on the pitch clock for the playoffs. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Where he, on his football team, his buddy said, I got you, I'm going to take care of you, and dressed him up in skirt and tube socks and had to go. He said all the freshmen got initiated the same day. We all got embarrassed together 49 years ago. JJ's researching. You might be hearing some of the 15 years and 15 days that we're doing as we go towards our 15th anniversary show, which is coming up on the 28th of this month on the opening drive. And what are you doing, 2014 right now?
2014.
DC, what do you think happened around here in 2014? Lobo women's soccer team had a little hazing problem. Did they? I mean, that's what you just found.
Yeah,
right
this
now?
one is definitely one of the ones you're like, yeah. That 2 freshman players hospitalized due to their level of intoxication. And they also found out that they were forced to do inappropriate things with
you say it,
frozen hot dogs and to kiss the butts of upperclassmen.
Yeah.
And all that did was get the head coach suspended for a week.
1 week. See? All right.
Wild.
2 players go to the hospital because they drank too much. Were forced to drink too much.
That was 2014.
Take a week off. Right here. I know.
Pat Fitzgerald was 2 weeks.
I know. I look. I still firmly believe the Pat Fitzgerald thing blew up because of public outcry.
That's in it. When the dirt sees the light,
and then the light sees the cover up, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to get it, I asked you the question. Dan just told the story, and 49 years ago. How would that go over today? I think initially you're going, that's kind of cute. That's funny today. Your kid comes home and says that happened. Dad, they dressed me up as a girl. All of freshmen. Does it make a difference to you if they've all the freshmen, the whole freshman class? Do you see? So your son comes home and we all did it, as opposed to embarrassing one of them. They all had to dress up in a skirt and tube socks and stand on the table. Does that make you feel any better about it?
It does, actually.
I think so too, right?
It does, because it's a team event at that point.
Now you're going to tell me it's insensitive and it's some sort of ism, and you might be right. And somebody's going to be offended because somebody's going to be offended. And that's probably why you can't do it anymore today. All right. Somebody called in earlier and suggested, hey, I like the All-Star game, but you know what would be cool? What if we did USA versus the world? So DC, you look this up. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought we might be close to 50-50 in American players versus international players in Major League Baseball. But as of this year, 72% of players in the big leagues were born in the United States, or they're American. JJ, do you know who would be second? What country has the second most players in Major League Baseball
overall?
Yeah, after the United States, what's the next highest percentage of players per country?
Puerto Rico.
It is not Puerto Rico. It's Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So there's 796 or 70 players, 72%, 72.1%. American, 118 or 10.6% DR. Puerto Rico's fourth, 26%. Any idea on third? I would have guessed Cuba. It's Venezuela.
Okay.
Venezuela, then Puerto Rico, then Cuba, then Mexico. Japan, there's only 8 Japanese players in the league right now. So, I mean, whatever. You could still do it. And to your point, well, his father's from there, and he could play for the international team. But, is it broken? Is it something? That's fine. All right. Major League Baseball's Player Association would like a softening on this pitch timer rule. I gotta believe most people have liked it, right? The response on the pitch clock has been overwhelmingly positive, would you say?
Yes, and people in baseball see a difference.
Okay. The union wants to soften it going into the playoffs. The commissioner isn't big on changing the rules during the season. Tony Clark is the union chief. Quote, I don't think there are too many folks that want to have a new rule affect a game in pennant chase or in the playoffs. There are adjustments that can be beneficial. Basically what he's saying is somebody's going to get penalized as you're going down. It's going to be a critical game in September, and there's going to be a pitch clock violation that's going to decide a game. And I think he's right. I think somewhere along the line, A pitch clock violation is going, whether it's by the batter, by the hitter, it's going to. So he was speaking to reporters, and then Rob Manfred was then asked, he's the commissioner, if there was a chance that baseball would tweak the current rules. This basically allows 15 seconds between pitches when the bases are empty, 20 seconds when there's a runner on base. The quote for the commissioner is, in general, I think you ought to play the postseason, you play the regular season. We are comfortable the way the clock and the violations, particularly late in the game and high leverage situations, have been managed, end quote. How do you guys feel about changing a rule in the season? Because I'm not big on it either. I'm leaning with the commissioner here.
Can't handle the pressure. Don't step to the plate.
Okay. Being the first year of the clock, I think you have to let it play out the entire season to see how it actually works in the playoffs before you can change it.
All right, so the players are not suggesting to get rid of the clock. They want to tweak it enough to provide extra time, especially when we're talking about what they call high leverage moments. That includes potentially adding seconds to the clock, approving an extra timeout or two, disengagements, or any number of other ideas, which would, according to Tony Clark, would give the players a chance to breathe.
They're just trying to slow the game down
a little bit.
Get back to what it was.
Yeah.
Now there is something.
Well, I don't know that they want to go all the way back to what it was.
No, but you're saying in the biggest moments we need to slow this down. More timeouts, more disengagements.
Tony Clark's argument is, quote, considering you just played a 162-game season with a pitch clock, nobody's looking to play 3.5 to 4 hour games. I don't think a few seconds here or there is going to create a 3.5 to 4 hour game, end quote. Now, I don't think he's wrong with that. Data tells you that pitch clock violations have decreased over time. But it would be a bummer to have it impact a game in the playoffs, wouldn't it? Or as you get to the playoffs.
No, because it's rules.
Okay.
You know what it is. You know, if I take too long here, I can get a ball or a strike.
Quote from the commissioner, we don't want a postseason game decided on a violation. We haven't had a game decided that way so far. I understand it's a possibility, end quote. They're going to continue to talk. They're going to continue the conversation the second half of the season, but the league did not afford the players much say in this initial decision anyway, right? This basically came from ownership, and they're concerned about it. Clark says something we're concerned about moving forward has to do with the input players offer at the outset. They didn't land in a fashion that we hoped to try and smooth out some of the rough edges. The lines of communication are open. We're glad that they are. We're hopeful that despite some of the things not being included in the conversation initially, that they may be considered down the stretch, end quote. I can see them being considered after the season. I just don't think they're going to change them. So you're like, this is the rules, play it. I don't hate that, by the way.
What are we changing? Is it just postseason baseball? Then you can add, 10 seconds to each, and so you get 25 and
maybe 5 each and an extra
40.
step out or something, or step off or disengagement is what they're asking for. I mean, I don't know that we need to turn this into a Red Sox-Yankees game of the early 2000s where they're all 5 hours long, right? Remember those? Every freaking one of them.
You can't change it now without seeing what happens.
So you're saying you got to play this out. This is the way they started the season. You've got to play this out. I don't think I disagree with that.
And yeah, you're going to get in some late game situations where it might feel a little bit rushed, but that's the game you're playing now.
I don't think I disagree with you. I'm not a fan of changing rules midstream. I think you've got to decide your championships. and like in football, I think you decide it differently. Even in baseball, you're playing a different game. The game that you play today in July is a different game that you're going to play in late October in, pick your cold city, Cincinnati. Right? Let's just say Cincinnati's got the World Series in late October, early November when it's 32 degrees. It's a different game. There's nothing you can do about the weather. You can do something about not changing the rule. I think you guys are right on this. And I think the commissioner's right on this. And then I think you go into your winter meetings in December, and I think you should have player input. I think that was a mistake on their part by just completely not, if that's true, not having player input when they decided to put in a pitch clock. They decided, well, we tried it in the minor leagues and it worked, and this is what the tests show, and do you guys want to do it this way or not do it at all? They said, yes, let's do it, and boom, here we are. Should you have player input? Player union input? Yeah, I think you should. All right, 505-246-0610. You want to talk a little football when we come back? National Football League opening camp. He's the best tight end in the league. I don't think this is arguable. How did he become the best tight end in the league? You know he was a quarterback? And then the weed. Yep, that weed. The wacky tobacco. The ganja, that stuff. Then that came into the picture. How the weed created the best tight end in the league. How smoking weed. That's not what I'm encouraging you to do, kids. This isn't one of those, hey, if you smoke the weed, you're going to become the best tight end in the league. Go start getting. No. That's not what. But how it happened. I don't know that you know this story. I'm going to tell you that when we come back. Hey, your vehicle that you're in right now, probably one of your biggest investments, right? So it makes sense that you need to protect it and take care of it. That's why I continue to suggest you call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes out to me, to you, to all of us. They're the best because they offer more than detailing. They come to you and they detail your vehicle inside, outside. When they're done, it feels like the day you took it off a lot. But their ceramic coating and paint protection film can help you maintain your car and keep it looking new so there'll be no more water, dirt, and mud stains. They've got protective layering. It helps prevent UV oxidation damage from this intense 100-plus degree New Mexico sun. And to top it off, they also offer window tinting services to keep your car cool. Lifetime warranties are available. Give them a call. Figure out how easy it is, how convenient it is, and bottom line, best scenario, how good they are. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, otsdetailing.com. For more information, that's otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
is up next at 10 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Yeah, it's legal in most states now. I think most. I think the majority. But dudes are still getting suspended for it. How did Travis Kelce become such a great tight end? And how did smoking weed play a part in this? What's up to you? I know now you're listening. Now you're listening.
Stay off the weed.
Stay off the weed.
Unless you're stuck at quarterback.
Did you know this story?
No.
Where'd you find this?
Well, I knew Travis Kelce had some bumps in the road.
Okay. I
When he
knew
was
that
at
too.
Cincinnati. But the way he pulled it was fascinating.
He was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast this week. And he was talking about when he was in college. His redshirt freshman season at Cincinnati. I don't even know that I knew that he went to Cincinnati. Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I absolutely did not know that he went to Cincinnati as a quarterback.
His brother was like a junior or senior on the team.
Okay. So he was at Cincinnati. This is Travis Kelce, the all-world tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was suspended for the entire 2010 season when he tested positive for smoking marijuana. All right. A little harsh, it feels. But I guess 2010, positive test for marijuana. I mean, there's plenty. That was right around the Washington State time, right? When Washington State suspended a bunch of guys for smoking weed.
It was the weed was a no-no.
I remember Bill Moose, the former athletic director of Washington State, told me about when he interviewed Mike Leach for the job at Washington State, the late great Mike Leach. And they got into the conversation about, well, how do you feel about, this was right after Washington State had to suspend a bunch of players. And Leach was like, one strike and you're out. And that's where Moose started going, really? Kind of like this guy. That's where they were. And Mike in his own way,
raise your hand if you thought Mike Leach would say that.
No, all right. You're probably on the other side of this. And Mike, holding his little coffee like he always did, kind of, bent arm, elbow out. And, because there's one guy, he gets busted. He tells his buddy in there in the showers, where'd you get your weed? And how'd you get away with getting your weed? And then he hears the other guy got his weed from this guy. And then that guy gets his weed from that guy. And then they're all getting their weed from the same guy, but they're all telling the same story. And so one strike and you're out. I mean, you can hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, Kelce gets suspended for the entire 2010 season. So the kind of end of his quarterback thoughts, quote, what it did, he says, was really kicked me into the tight end room. I was still playing quarterback then. But it was like, all right, you can come walk on the team, but we don't need a quarterback. You can just be an athlete on the scout team for a year. We'll figure it out. And that's how he became a quarterback.
Now he's the best tight end in football.
Now, I'm not telling you kids, go out and smoke a bunch of weed and get thrown out of the quarterback room. That's not the moral of the story. So please don't go and tell your parents, hey, Symbieta said
Guess
that
what?
I
I
should
was
go get
listening.
high. And no, that's not the moral of the story.
What the TV guy say?
Yeah.
Well, he's not on TV, but this radio thing for 15 years.
I had no idea.
Because
sometimes
it's one of those things. Does as good of an athlete as he was, does he find his way to that position eventually? We see so many of those guys get pushed tight end, wide receiver, or is he just another dude that's there for 4 years, plays some Wildcat snaps, and then disappears?
I'm going to guess the latter. You know, I think of guys who were willing to change positions in the pros, right? I always think of Julian Edelman, who played for Doug Martin in college at in the MAC. Where were they?
Kent State.
At Kent State. And Doug Martin, the former New Mexico State coach, used to come on, and periodically we'd ask him about Julian Edelman, right? And you could tell he loved Julian Edelman.
Like, did you guys know I coached Julian Edelman?
Well, no, he never really said that. We would always have to ask him about it.
First thing on my resume.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman.
And I think the first thing on his resume still is he took New Mexico State to a bowl game.
Boom.
I think that's still Doug Martin. I took New Mexico State to a bowl game. Doug was really good to us. But when he would talk about Julian Edelman, he would talk about the athlete that he was. But Julian Edelman was a quarterback at Kent State. Got drafted in the NFL as an athlete. Was like Antoine Randall was that way. Didn't have quite the NFL career that Julian Edelman did, but he was a quarterback at Indiana in college. Can you think of any others that really just changed position?
I can think of one that didn't change position.
Tim Tebow?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What would Tim Tebow have been as a tight end?
That's what I kept thinking, because the guy's an athlete. What if he was a tight end?
I see your face. You're not as convinced.
I think he could have had a decent NFL career, but I really don't see him as a receiving threat. It was just you'd had to get the football in his hands more. I think of like an H-back.
It's interesting. Yeah, we had a quarterback, and JJ brought up his name yesterday around here. Cole Gauchi was out of Rio Rancho, was a starting quarterback here at UNM. And I will argue with you that Cole was a really good option quarterback.
He was. It was a tank.
But he got hit because he kept the ball so much. Now, the majority of quarterbacks who around here,
he was huge.
He
so
was huge.
It's also that I'm big enough to take this, and it's, well, your brain's not.
Well, but and that's how he became Cole Ouchie, right? I started referring because DC, he was hurt all the time. Like, he was hurt all the time. But he got hit. Hines Ward was a quarterback of Georgia. That's a great one. Ed just sent me that. Thank you for that. No, that's really good. Tyrann Mathieu was suspended and thrown off the team, failing multiple drug tests at LSU. Different time, had harsher penalties. No, thank you, Eddie, for that. Appreciate that. And Tyrann Mathieu came okay, didn't he? He's had a hell of a career in the NFL. I mean, a terrific career.
The Honey Badger.
Yeah. Terrific career. I mean, again, don't go home and tell mom. The radio guy told me go smoke the weed.
Yes.
And you're going to become a all-pro tight end. It's
backup quarterback at El Dorado. He goes home and is like, you know what?
Thinking about it.
Thinking about playing tight end.
Here's one. He's a quarterback, or he's a tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a quarterback here at El Dorado High School.
Pat Fryermuth?
Gentry.
Zach
Gentry was quarterback, was going to Texas. He was Jim Harbaugh's first recruit. Jim Harbaugh flew in here, flipped him from Texas to Michigan. He was going to go be a quarterback up there. And then they turned him into a tight end. And I remember we all go, why didn't he just stay home, play quarterback? And now he's in the NFL. And he's just signed another contract. You just never know, right? Follow the road. There's a lot of guys who, changed position, but that's how Travis Kelce became a tight end.
All right, party.
This guy's 30 years old. He's a quarterback still. Is the time ticking? Is it now or never for your guy at quarterback? It might just be. We're going to talk about that next. He wears a star on his head. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of fire.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
All right, so we're talking about rituals, initiation, hazing today. We've talked about smoking weed to become a great tight end. Again, if what you took out of that is, hey, kids, go smoke weed. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you one man's story, all right? He was a quarterback or kind of a quarterback. Kind of a walk-on quarterback, trying to make it at Cincinnati. He was a walk-on, right?
What?
He was a redshirt freshman. I don't know if he was a walk-on.
Well, he came back as walk-on once he got kicked off the team.
He had a walk-on on the team.
He just got back.
Yeah. That's Travis Kelce. That's how he was a quarterback in college. Got suspended for a year for testing positive for marijuana. 2010. What's the penalty now? Like, it's legal, but it's not okay if you test positive in a pro. I don't even know the answer. Like if a kid tests positive, if a football player comes back, tests positive, I don't even know if they're testing. I don't know. But if you test positive for marijuana, well, it's legal. I mean, there's 15 shops right down the street. There's more damn pot shops here than there are gas stations, right? I think that might.
There's actually a gas station pot shop combo down the road.
Stop shopping. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. But the price of gas like $1 more than it is across the street.
Wait a second.
At that place. It's kind of crazy. I guess you're so high you don't even care. You just go in and you get a burrito, you get your weed, and you get gas, whatever I'm paying to buy. I don't want to go all the way across the street, dude. I got to go all the way right. Oh, wait. I got to cross that little road, and then I got to go pay again. Nah, whatever, dude.
So I was looking up, NCAA really does not penalize. First test, no penalty.
For marijuana.
Correct. So you can test 3 times positive and nothing really happens. You have to have a management plan and things like that with the school, but very minimal punishment.
Can we prefer they're not smoking weed on team trips in the hotel and having the boosters come in the hotel? And we can do that though, right? That's still preferable. Silence. All right, I want to get into this Tony Romo stuff here. In how big of a year is this? for the Cowboys quarterback. But let's go here. Tony, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Tony.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
What's happening?
Funny thing just happened to me. My son just called me up and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to be an all-pro tight end." I'm like, "What are you talking about, kid?" I don't know, man. It's something about the rate. I don't know, man. I'm saying, "Good luck, kid. Good luck." You know?
Where'd you get that idea?
Hey, wasn't it Travis Kelce's brother, Jason Kelce, that got him back on the team?
That might be right. I don't know the whole story. Is that right?
True. Yeah, he talked to the coaches and talked him into it.
Yeah, he talked to the coaches, and they got him back on the team and everything. So
come on, my little pothead brother's a pretty good kid.
You know, another NFL player that comes to mind but he didn't switch positions, but he should have, was Cordell Stewart. He was the quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
Slash.
He played at Colorado and
he wasn't a good quarterback.
Yeah. He was an okay NFL quarterback, wasn't he? He had his moments with the Steelers, right?
But then again, you know, so was who's another okay quarterback?
No, there's a million of okay quarterbacks. I mean, the league's littered up with them. Yeah.
You know, but Cordell Stewart could have been better than average.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe slot receiver.
Maybe. That's a good one.
You know,
right.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that because I remember hearing an interview with the Kelce brothers and Travis Kelce, who was saying that he owes all his NFL career to his brother because his brother was the one that got him back on the team.
Yeah, I didn't know that story.
From what I remember, is they didn't want him back. Yeah. They did not want him back at all.
But they're glad they took him back.
Jason Kelce was the one who went and told him, "Hey, look, you do this, that, and I'll keep an eye on him, and you have my word, and all this and that."
Really good.
That's the only reason why they brought him back.
All right, dude. Keep an eye on your kid. Lock up the snacks, or buy more snacks. See you. Buy more. I don't know. What's the answer? Buy more. I mean, holy smokes! All right. Cordell Stewart, should he have? I mean, he wanted to be quarterback. He was okay.
He had a winning record in the NFL.
What was his record?
48-34.
Well, that's pretty good, right? With the Steelers?
He had a 13-3 season.
I remember there was a lot of
made
time.
the right decision.
You know, I think that was the day. What year was that? What were those years?
95 through 2005.
That was the year where if an African American quarterback came out and was athletic, it was in vogue to say he should be a receiver, right? I mean, I don't think I'm playing a race card here. I think that was flat out fact, wasn't it?
He was a role player. That's where the slash came from, the utility player in 95. And then it wasn't.
He played at Colorado, right?
Until 97 where he got his shot. That'd be a full-time quarterback.
And so he started there for, 3-4 years?
Yeah. He started 97 to 2001.
That's 3-4 years, 5 years. Yeah, 3-4, 97, 98, 99. Yeah, 3-4 years. All right, Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Edward.
Well, hi, guys. You know, we have a whole generation, maybe two, of kids that are not hooked on phonics, but hooked on chronic.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's good to hear Tony. I think the Denver Broncos are going to be better, Tony. But hopefully you're still listening. It's been a few years since the Beer Summit.
No, they're not.
Hey, real quick on some of your points. Good content as always. Julian Edelman not only was a quarterback in college, but in the second Super Bowl against the Giants, he was the dime defensive back. They put him in on defense to cover receivers. And then he went on to have probably 5 or 6 of the most iconic plays in NFL history in the biggest moments, encapsulated by winning the Super Bowl MVP. So pretty amazing career for a guy that's 5'11", 175 pounds, and dates supermodels. Hey, on your hazing situation, it's widespread across our culture. In the corporate environment, we had a guy, one was a Packers fan, one was a Cowboys fan, and they made a friendly bet at work. And the loser had to wear like headgear. So when Rodgers, who repeatedly beats the Cowboys and embarrasses them, they won the playoff game with those miraculous throws that he made. So the Cowboys fan had to wear a cheese head at work in the corporate environment. So one of the senior managers pulled me aside and said, "Hey, can you just check in with him to make sure that he's not being humiliated?" Wow. Now, it's not in the sports setting, but it's in the corporate setting. And it was a friendly bet, which they both agreed upon. But even in that culture, you got to say, hey, is anybody going to take offense or be humiliated?
Dude, look at fantasy football leagues. Look what the penalty is now. And it's getting every year you hear whoever finishes last in the fantasy football league has to do. And I guess if you all agree to it, is it hazing? I mean, I don't know, man. But yeah, there's still that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And my last point this morning. So now that Brady the greatest player ever, has retired from the NFL and has kind of stepped down in his dating life, maybe. Allegedly. And Luka dunk on chicks, has to watch Kyrie dribble between his legs and have zero success outside of his career with LeBron. And now that Tyler Hero is probably going to get traded to some of my favorite players, my new favorite player is Ellie De La Cruz.
Yes.
That guy is next level. That guy is amazing. And I think we're seeing Ohtani, who might be the greatest player in the history of the game. I'll tell you what, that De La Cruz is the best watch in sports right now.
Yeah, he's good.
Anyway.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoy your day, and thank you for letting me share a few thoughts.
Good day, sir. See you. It's actually really interesting. So if you lose a bet, you got to wear a cheese head, and you're a Cowboy fan, or you're a Giants fan. You got to wear a Cowboys jersey to work. Is that hazing?
That sounds like a bet two mayors make or something for the Super Bowl.
No, you and Sally in accounting made that bet. You're a Broncos fan, and she's a Raiders fan, and you lose the game. You got to wear a Raiders jersey to work on Monday.
Yeah, that is humiliating.
But you entered into that.
Yeah. As long as it's work attire, you can wear it. Then
okay.
Just
I mean, some of the stuff. If you listen to some of the stuff you finished last in fantasy, I'm not big on that. I know one of the leagues I'm in, they want to go to that, and I'm like, whatever. I'm not big on it. One year I'm going to finish last. I'm going to have to, I don't know, stand on a corner doing whatever they tell me. What
we do?
I'm watching some of the. What do you do? So you have this?
It's really we've been doing this for a long time. So we'll take a picture of the loser, and it's usually something embarrassing, and we turn it into a puzzle, and we make that person do the puzzle. That it's like a 2,000-piece puzzle of just a goofy picture of them.
It's actually kind of funny.
It's been going on for like 20 years.
How long do they have to do the puzzle?
It's at this point, it's kind of a race. See who can do it. At first it would take someone 2 months to do it, and we would all harass them, and they'd finally do it and post pictures. But
all right. I don't know that I hate that one.
It's very mild. There's other things we do that I will not speak about on the radio.
Okay, so there, right? You guys are doing that stuff right there. That if you said on the radio, you'd feel, ooh, right? So you're engaging in that behavior as a grown ass man.
Well, it's a 20-year league, so it started.
I get it, man. I'm the league that I'm in now. That I've been in since I was at Channel 7. And I've left Channel 7 in 2001. So I mean, I've been with these guys for 24 years ish, right? And now they're just saying we need to do something for last place. I'm like, whatever you guys do. I mean, I'll play, but I'm looking at some like.
But that's also a situation with your friends.
You volunteered to get in, or
like you can be like, all right, bleep you guys, I'm not doing this right now, and not feel like, oh, I'm not going to be allowed to be on a team. My scholarship revoked. No,
it's funny. And grown ass men respond to peer pressure differently, right? Yeah, I told you. I'm a grown ass man. I'm probably not going to be peer pressured and doing a lot. It's like the beer thing. My brother tells me what kind of beer I should and shouldn't drink on the golf course. I'm like, dude, drink your beer. I'm going to drink. Like, bleep you, right? I know what I like, and I know what I'm going to drink. And the shots, you need to do shots. No, I really don't. I'm working tomorrow at 7 a.m. Like I'm not. It's Tuesday night. I'm good, man. Knock yourself out, literally. This is interesting. Terry Bradshaw and Eli Manning, according to the text line, were converted to tight end before they each worked the bugs out of their play and succeeded as NFL quarterbacks. I did not know that. Is that right? Were Eli Manning and Terry Bradshaw converted to tight end?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When did Eli play any snaps at
Ole Miss? I have no idea. That I didn't know at all. And then this one says the NCAA punishment rules must have changed. Didn't Ronnie Daniels fail drug tests due to pot and wash out of college football at Texas Tech and San Diego State? Yes, he did. That was a decade plus ago. Yeah. They have. I mean, evidently they have changed as the laws have changed. Look, man, gambling laws have changed. Drug laws have changed. Commissioner addressed the Pete Rose thing the other day in regards to gambling rules and the acceptance of gambling companies as sponsors. Said it's still not going to affect what Pete Rose did. Even under today's rules, Pete Rose would still be suspended. He bet on his own damn team. Then wouldn't own up to it for years. I'm not going to get back to the Pete Rose. You know where I am on Pete. I think Pete should be in the hall and should not be allowed to be employed by Major League Baseball. But I know many of you, that's one of the most passionate ones. But to go back and change rules and let guys out for stuff that's not legal and don't penalize them for whatever. Pete still would have been banned from baseball. He bet on his team. All right, we're going to hit on Dak when we come back. So, 30 years old. Tick, 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 tick. Now or never for Dak? Why is that argument now being presented so heavily? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. This report.
Pitch. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No! That's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides
EM 610, the sports animal.
DC just came in and told me the stuff he couldn't tell you on the radio on fantasy football. See, everybody's got goofy punishment, league embarrassment, and usually it's with your buddies, and it's good. I don't know if I think that's hazing. All right, is it make or break, now or never? Back against the wall. Pick your little cliche for Dak Prescott. Dak turns 30 years old in 2 weeks. I mean, 30-year-old is the number. For a quarterback in the NFL, I got no problem with a 30-year-old quarterback. I think you're going into your prime. Okay. Does that increase the urgency, him being 30, to get the Cowboys to where it's been a long, long time? As you ponder that question, it was presented to Dak Prescott. The answer from Dak is, quote, 1,000%. Just understanding injuries and what I've been throughout my career and understanding that you don't have forever to play this game, I'm blessed for every moment that I get. Just trying to take it with a sense of urgency, end quote. Dak is 2-4 in the playoffs. DC, do you know what Tony Romo's record in the playoffs was? Any idea?
No, I'm thinking back. I mean, it's probably similar.
2-4. Dallas hasn't been to the NFC title game, let alone the Super Bowl. They haven't been to the NFC title game since
94?
95.
95.
95. It's 28 years. It's almost as old as Dak. If Dak walked away tomorrow, who was a better Cowboy quarterback, Tony Romo or Dak Prescott?
Has time away brought Tony Romo back?
Hell yes, it has.
For Cowboy fans.
Tony Romo was a good Cowboy quarterback. He wasn't great because he didn't get them to where they want to be. Tony Romo was a good Cowboy quarterback.
Romo and Dak
they
Prescott
both came out of nowhere.
Are the same person. Right?
They're the same quarterback.
Same exact quarterback.
And I would argue that Tony Romo was a little better. Now, that's without me pulling up his stats, and I see you going to your keyboard. Now, and I appreciate
Stats are going to.
No, I appreciate it. I want to see it.
Prescott, I bet.
Do you think the stats are going to lead you to Prescott? I don't know that I think that. Like, wins and losses would be the stat that mattered the most to me. And like, Dak wins games. Cowboy fan, if Dak, well, hell, right now, better Cowboy quarterback, Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. Dak was your guy. He was going to save you too, remember? As was Tony Romo. Who was in between, right? Remember when Romo went down? Wasn't there someone? It was Kellen Moore, wasn't it? Romo went down in preseason. Was it Kellen Moore who then got hurt the next week? And they had to turn to Dak Prescott? Isn't that how that whole progression worked? How Dak Prescott ascended to being the quarterback of the Cowboys? I'm almost certain it was. Now or never for Dak, though? It's a big year for Dak Prescott, man. I mean, he's getting paid. He's got his money, but it's a big year.
Well, because then you're starting to get into the twilight years of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
And you start getting the outs. Player, you move on from this guy, the dead cap money that starts to lower versus extension for Dak Prescott. And we know Jerry Jones, the thing about him is he's loyal.
Mm-hmm.
To his coaches, to his quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And while, and from a fan standpoint, if they're one and done in the postseason again, if this team isn't sniffing an NFC championship, they're going to go look right at Dak Prescott. That's what happens. That's what you do.
So they're wild card team, and they lose the first round of the playoff.
But I don't see Jerry Jones moving off Dak for a while. Like, you can say it's now or never, make or break. Should you have the piece in place to be a top 3 team in the NFC? And well, they're winning 12 games a year. It's just not getting what you want in the postseason.
I don't know that who would be available that's sexy right? And I say that not as necessarily a football fan, but I say that more as knowing Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones loves the sexy quarterback, and you're going to say, well, Jeff, Dak Prescott nor Tony Romo were sexy. Yeah, but he kind of stumbled into those, right? Tony Romo was undrafted out of Eastern Illinois. Dak Prescott, I believe, was a third-round pick out of Mississippi State. He kind of stumbled into those out of necessity. Now, remember how he wanted Johnny Manziel? Didn't happen. He got talked out of it.
So Jerry Jones has been getting his sexy on with the Cowboys more in the skill player world, and being able to get Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Mark Cooper before that. Pretty good luck with quarterbacks.
Tony Romo
and Dak Prescott, guys that are keeping you relevant.
Comparing Tony Romo with Dak. Overall, Romo 34, 138 and yards in 156 games. So average yards per game. Prescott's at 257. But I don't care about that. I want to know wins and losses. And
Dak Prescott's 61 and 36. Tony Romo is 78 and 49.
61, 36, 78, and 49. That's really close to being the same. What's better winning percentage? Your winning percentage right there?
No.
61 and who was Dak was? Who was the first one?
Dak is 61 and 36.
Yeah.
Romo is 78 and 49.
All right, so Romo won 17 more games and lost 13 more. I mean, that's really close, isn't it?
Their completion percentage 66.6 for Dak. Tony Romo 65.3.
So it's almost the same. So interception to touchdown ratio.
The touchdowns in Romo's career 248. Interceptions 117.
Mm-hmm.
That's 156 games.
Yeah.
So 97 games for Dak. 166 touchdowns, 65 interceptions.
That's a little better ratio. Well, not really.
They're like the same exact quarterback.
They're the same dude, aren't they?
Interception rate within 0.7%. Touchdown percentage within 0.6%.
They're kind of the same guy. But yet, who do you think Cowboy fan, and this is where I'm leaning on y'all now, and help me here. 505-246-0610, that's the Sports Animal text line, and it's the hotline, or the phone line to get in. Who sits better? Who does Cowboy fan like more? Who's got like a better, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a better love affair, who does Cowboy fan love more? Because what's the old saying? The older I get, the better I was. Right? Sometimes the further away you get from a guy, you appreciate him more. And I think Cowboy fan was about ready to be done with Romo. Romo was hard not to like. You know what I mean? He won enough that it kept you tantalized. And I was never a Cowboy fan, but I always liked Tony Romo. Always liked Tony Romo. I like him as a broadcaster. He entertains me. I always liked his personality. But as a Cowboy fan, who do you like better?
I go back to the playoff and
which playoff? Where he dropped the snap in Seattle. What was he out there being a holder for? He was put in a bad spot anyway. But yeah, he dropped the ball.
So and that to me, I can't get over it. I do not like Tony Romo
because he dropped the snap on an extra point or a field goal or whatever the hell that was.
Hey, that's the fan in me. It really is. When to me that play flushed a great season, and
wow,
yeah, I couldn't get over it. Still can't. I hear him on the broadcast. I like him as a broadcaster. He knows the game, but in my mind, I go back to that play every single time.
Really?
Really.
So that's what you remember Tony Romo for, was not anything he did as quarterback, but as a holder on a kick.
That is the one thing that stands out.
That's insane to me. Okay. But that, no, I get it. I mean, that's the fan. That's the beautiful thing about being a fan. Where are you? Who do you think they Cowboy fan is more fond of?
I'm probably more fond of the guy that you're not upset at within the
today.
the guy that They're just running down the middle of the field, sliding as time expires in the postseason.
That's crazy. Yeah, Cowboy fan, I'm curious. Where are you with that? Meanwhile, your former offensive coordinator has moved on. He was a quarterback. I'm pretty sure he was the quarterback in between. Wasn't it Kellen Moore for like a week until he got hurt between Romo and Dak? He's in Southern California. I refuse to say the Chargers are in L.A. He's down in Southern California. They're calling it Air Moore. Boy, does he love what he's got there. He loves what he's got. He loves his receivers and what he plans to do and how it's hard. You know how much I like Kellen Moore, right? And you know how I feel about the Chargers, so you know how damn conflicted I am about that situation. But why Kellen Moore thinks it's going to work there, and can the Chargers contend in the AFC with all that other smoke? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff.
What flavor?
Well,
Monster cookie dough?
Monster cookie dough. You want some?
Monster cookie dough for breakfast.
Look at that. They just brought it in for you.
Champ.
I mean, the cookie's kind of breakfast. Don't you think?
It's like a
little
pastry.
Bit? I mean, a little bit.
Baked good.
505-246-0610. I'm asking the Cowboy fan this morning. Who are you more fond of, Tony Romo or Dak Prescott? Omar, who is the biggest Cowboy fan I think we have in this associated with the show, answered the bat signal. Jeff, 2007 still stings when a heavily favored Dallas Cowboys flopped after the distractions created when Tony Romo took Jessica Simpson to Mexico during the tournament, and the fallout included T-Belo having a meltdown. If not for that, Tony would have been remembered as one of our greatest players ever. Is that the same year? Remember they had the bye and he took Jessica down to Mexico and people thought, what's he doing during that? And by the way, everybody was just jealous that he was hanging with Jessica Simpson. Right? Yes, you can tell me yes.
It just, you got to stay home in the bye week. It doesn't work out for you. Remember the Giants boat photo? Wasn't that in before a playoff game?
You do.
Got it. Stay below the radar.
Who do I like better, says the text line. As a Dallas quarterback, Romo or Prescott, I like them both equally, as both are sufficient losers. Sincerely, a longtime Cowboy hater. It's the same person who said, and reread that text. The text read, Bradshaw and Manning were almost converted to tight end due to their substandard NFL quarterback play. Oh, it did say that initially. Okay, I missed that. I did miss the word almost in there. It was in there initially.
I
just don't remember it.
Well, I don't think anyone ever looked at Eli Manning and said, you can play tight end. Ever.
No, you can play second base.
Ever.
Like honestly.
They were not converting the top 5 pick to tight end.
If you went aesthetic wise, like just what they look like, not look like as retired men, but as in their prime, right? And just took, because Eli will be a Hall of Famer, I firmly believe that, and take Hall of Fame players in their prime. Is Eli like the guy that you would put in a lineup and say, all right, these guys are put I don't know, you look at you, you're in great shape. Which guy's not a Hall of Fame player? Eli would be the guy that you would say, yeah, that guy wasn't a Hall of Fame player, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Eli never looked the part, God bless him. But he played it. All right, Dak Prescott no longer has Kellen Moore. Many of you think that's an upgrade. We're going to see. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, is now no longer the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. He's the offensive coordinator of the Chargers. That should be in San Diego. He's got Justin Herbert as his quarterback. Upgrade for Kellen?
Yes.
He's got every receiver's over 6'2". Now, does that mean they're all good? That in itself doesn't mean they're all good, but I think they're all good. Kellen Moore said, quote, "We like to say we got so much height on this team, we're going to be throwing in a different jet stream. These guys, it's just going to be a lot of fun." End quote. Chargers' top 3 wide receivers are all 6'2" or taller. They spent the 21st overall pick, and I was surprised when they went there. I'm like, is this what they need? But they went out and got Quentin Johnson. They got Mike Williams. They got Keenan Allen. Right? Herbert attempted 68 passes, JJ, last year, as you did the research, of 20 yards or more. That was seventh most in the NFL. 7 of his 25 touchdowns were deep throws. And so you asked the question, and it's a good question. Who scares you more, a healthy Chargers or a healthy Dolphins? First of all, Chargers are never healthy. Ever.
And that's the question. That's why these two teams are so similar going into next season, is because of that health. If Tua is on the field, if the Chargers don't look at their IR and go, man, that looks like a Pro Bowl team.
Keenan Allen's hurt every week. Man, I spent money on Keenan Allen last year, and he was hurt and always it's game time decision on Monday night.
Because Justin Herbert, he's that dude. He's the one.
We think so.
That his talent is, I can be in this conversation. You're talking about Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. It could be me. I can be one of those guys. I'm taking Justin Herbert over Tua.
You like him?
I think Tua was fantastic in that system, but straight up, if I need a dude
100%.
to do dude things, because football is about dudes, that's Steve Adazio, Justin Herbert.
You like him now even more with Kellen Moore there?
I do.
I think I do too. Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Chad.
Hey, guys. Just listening on. I got you guys on the internet on a little road trip here.
Sweet.
So,
Thanks for finding us.
Gotta get my new... Yeah. No, I think the question is between those two quarterbacks. I'll tell you who's a better Danny White, the greatest Cowboy quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Danny White. I'll put him into there. I had of those two. But I would put, between the two of those, I thought Romo was a better quarterback, but he was too fragile. He just couldn't trust him to be healthy. So, I don't know. I would give a little bit of the edge to Romo, because Dak still has some, I think he has to work on his poise, especially in his leadership and leading his team to the next place. I think he has a little bit more room to grow in that area and the expectations that are on him. So I give the edge to Romo.
Right on. Chad, safe travels out there. Thanks for finding us, man. Be well. All right, he's on Romo. I think people lean Romo.
Here's my thought process. The thing about Dak is he's still playing. He can still win. Romo's done. So I hold out hope that Dak will do something to win some ball games and potentially win a Super Bowl.
All right, that's cute, and I like it.
Dak is going to have more wins. Dak is going to have more playoff wins.
Dak trails and wins by 17 right now. He started 97 games, and Tony Romo started 156.
So it's the DC's point. Right now, they are the same exact quarterback. Resume, what they've accomplished, and where they came from.
Look, if
Dak is just going to pass him because of time.
Well, he's going to pass him in sheer numbers, right? But if he doesn't get to the NFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl, they're the same dude. I don't care.
Even if that's a fair point, Dak Prescott could go out there and still win 2-3 more playoff games over his career.
Great.
But if there's no NFC Championship appearance,
they're both 2-4 in the playoffs, but neither of them got them where they need to get. Why was Tony Romo out there holding on kicks? That's I don't know why. I think of it, but it's never the first thing I think of with Tony Romo. And I guess it should make more sense than it does to me. That's the first thing that you think of. That's how you remember Tony Romo. Is that weird? Right? Like, when you think of Tony Romo, do you think of that play?
Yes.
It's just not one of the things that comes to the top of my mind. Now, who should be hold? I guess the quarterback used to regularly hold on kicks.
Well, because Tony Romo was the backup quarterback. And so he was holding.
He was the backup at that time?
No, he was. Like, he didn't go in and wasn't
okay. I got it.
So he was a placeholder for kicks because that was a lot more common back then. Now it's usually the punter.
Was he the backup to Drew Bledsoe?
But it used to
Who
be
was the quarterback before Tony Romo?
I don't know. Was it just because they wanted someone to handle it if it went awry? But I do remember, like, the backup quarterback used to be the holder a lot.
Yeah, no, regularly. Was Romo the backup? Who was the quarterback before Romo? Was it Drew? Because you said Matt Castle came in and started 6 games, which is crazy to me.
It was Drew.
It was Drew Bledsoe before that.
Yep.
All right.
Is it because this is a story from 2009 where they're still talking about it?
Yeah.
And it said, at this point, team says Romo just happens to be the best holder on the roster.
Okay. I mean, if he's the best holder on the roster, then he just dropped the football. Well, it was a good snap. He just dropped the football. Things that you take for granted. The holder on a field goal. Was it a field goal or an extra point? Do you remember? Because I honestly don't.
They were down 21-20, and I'm pretty sure it was extra point.
It was the extra point.
But all I remember is him dropping. Like, it is.
No, I remember it too.
Yeah, it's just.
It was stunning. I remember it was stunning.
It was stunning. You're absolutely.
That was
right.
a go-ahead field goal attempt.
It was a field goal. Okay, and it was a short one.
Field goal attempt.
I remember. I mean, it was routine, and it was as stunning as the Malcolm Butler play in the Super Bowl, right?
2006 wild card. Minute 19 left.
Yeah.
Bill Parcells going up and down the sideline. Mike Holmgren.
Perfect snap.
19-yard field goal attempt.
Who was the kicker? I remember
Martin Gramatica.
Martin Gramatica. Before he blew out his knee celebrating.
Tony Romo drops the snap. He's running. Tony Romo has space. He's tackled from behind. Goes down at the 1-yard line.
Oh, that's pretty good right there.
Dude, he was so close.
What year was this?
Scoring. That was unbelievable.
What year was this?
2006.
How'd that not get in my year in review, for crying out loud?
I did not realize how close Tony Romo was.
No, he almost got in.
Scoring that touchdown.
Yeah, he almost got in. Because 19, right? So the ball was placed at the 9, so the line of scrimmage was about the 3, right?
Yeah.
2-3 yards.
Point.
Yeah. Oh, crazy, isn't it? 505-246-0610. Cowboy fan, who are you more fond of? Tony Romo? Dak Prescott? Same dude, huh? I know. Hey, Albuquerque's known for a lot of things, probably not for safety and security, and that's why I called International Protective Service. IPS, they've been watching my home for years. They now watch my neighbor's home. They watch businesses and homes all over Albuquerque. Aaron Jones started this business to protect homes and businesses. Now, he's looking for some help. If you are a former or retired police officer, if you have military or security experience, and you want to make our city a better place to live and work, Aaron's asking you to fill out an application at ipsglobal.com. You will work for a great company. You will be trained by world-class professionals who will get you ready to handle almost any situation, and you will be doing an incredible service for our community. Consider going to work for IPS. Make a difference. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Or you can fill out an application online at ipsglobal.com. Join IPS if you want to make Albuquerque a better place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProViewSports.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Because there was some winning around here. Not in football, but both the Lobos and Aggies were back in the NCAA tournament in basketball. UNM was 30-5 in Steve Alford's third year, won the conference championship, went to the second round of the big dance.
Staudinger will try a three, and that will do it. New Mexico survives the scare against Montana, and they advance to the second round.
The Aggies in Marvin Menzies' fourth season won the WAC and fell in a controversial 3-point loss to Michigan State in the first round. It was a really fun time. It was the year Duke beat Butler by 2 points in the championship game. Remember that? We talked a lot that year about the Saints' only ever Super Bowl championship, Kobe Bryant's 3-year, $87 million contract after winning a second straight NBA title. But the big talk, and this never really went away, was LeBron James making the decision.
LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
That's one of the moments I remember so distinctly, thinking at the time he may never live that down. I don't think he has. In many people's minds, I think that moment still defines LeBron James.
15 years and 15 days is brought to you by All In Autographs, Albuquerque's premier sports memorabilia and collectible destination. New Mexico's Sports Authority, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Sounded just like you just did it. I mean, it literally is Al Michaels back in the day, 2006.
Good morning, Cowboy fans.
Oh, he dropped the ball! I know. Cowboy fans just going, why are you doing this? What the hell did I do to you today? Text line says, worst play ever by a Cowboy wasn't that. It was Jackie Smith dropping the pass in the end zone in the Super Bowl against the Steelers. All right, fair enough. That wasn't today's question. Today's question wasn't worst play ever by the Cowboys. We're not talking about Leon Lett on Thanksgiving in the snow. No, I mean, that wasn't the Super Bowl.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
I dropped the ball! Oh, how the branded top-selling teams make much of their fan base, even as they lose. Dallas fans are lamenting a Cowboy loss due to Romo's mishaps years ago. Yes, that's how this works. That's sports, man.
Yeah, sports fans are molded by disappointment. Sports fans are fueled by losses and what-ifs.
It continues. If I was Jerry Jones, I'd be sitting with an earshot of such a conversation with a clicker, counting how many times people disgruntled with Dallas's performance still express their love for and expectant views of the underperforming Cowboys. Sure, and he is. He's counting the money. This is good. I might have asked this yesterday. I think I did. No, we did this in a different way. Text line. Question, silver and blue NFL-wise. Which team wins the Super Bowl next, Dallas or Detroit? You did an exercise yesterday, DC. You printed out both teams' rosters or schedules for this year. Because I said I think Detroit's going to have a better record. And you said, here, go through and put W's and L's next to each one of them. JJ and I were very close on this. You were different. What did you come up with?
I'm going to have to pull out the paper, but I think the biggest difference we had was it's like week 10 when they play each other.
Well, wait. Yeah, but you had the numbers, right?
Yeah, I had Dallas at 11-6, and then I was going back and forth between 9-8 and 8-9 for Lions.
And you and I both have the Lions at 10-7.
Yes, we did.
I had the Cowboys at 8-9, and you had the Cowboys at 9-8. I mean, JJ and I were and I don't know if the games were exact. We just raw numbers.
For me, it was for the Lions. Week 4 on a short week going to the Packers was one that I had them for loss, and that's one that I question a little bit. But
it's going to depend how quickly Jordan Love
exactly
becomes a quarterback or doesn't.
And there's always a game or two on the schedule.
Promise
that when you look at and you feel, oh, this is a given. No, that's going to be a loss.
Yes. That's why it's so hard to bet the NFL, by the way. Right? I mean, that's why it's so hard to bet the NFL. All right, when we come back, the NBA is talking about expanding. Baseball's talking about expanding. We got into that. Where's the NBA going? Well, they should go to the city where baseball was yesterday, first and foremost. It almost feels like they've got it decided where they're going. The two cities that they're going to expand. Do they need to expand? Do we need NBA and Major League Baseball expansion? Are we expanding just to expand, and will it water it down? I want to have that conversation because I certainly have my thoughts on it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports.
Even if they're not that proud of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
All right, it's official. Came down this morning, so it's got to be official. As of 8:30 this morning, actually, really about 26 minutes ago. Not even 20. It doesn't matter. 25 minutes ago. NFL and NFL Films have selected the Jets for Hard Knocks, whether they want it or not. Deal with it. Hard Knocks is coming in. Perfect. Jets go to training camp on Wednesday. They got Aaron Rodgers. The cameras will be rolling in full force to chronicle their entire season or preseason. Good for them, man. I mean, that's what we want to see. Is there somebody else you'd rather see?
No, this one makes sense.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is boring. I don't know. Yeah. Is he? And by the way, the stuff around Aaron Rodgers will not be boring. Aaron Rodgers can be boring if Aaron Rodgers wants to be boring. It'll be interesting to see what sort of persona Aaron Rodgers opts to project to Hard Knocks. Robert Saleh gets to kind of be a star. I think people like Robert Saleh but don't know much about him. You're going to learn a lot about the Jets head coach's personality. Garrett Wilson may come to life. They'll be. This is good.
Yeah. This is good. They'll highlight a guy that trying to make the roster. Good story. It comes on the watch. That to make a ton of sense. I think Miami would be a good one.
Yeah, it would have been good.
Mike McDaniel.
But it has to be a team that didn't make the playoffs, right?
It does. I didn't know that.
I think that's part of the criteria.
Denver. Sean Payton, Russell Wilson.
Denver would have actually been interesting too. No, you know what? Okay, you got me. Because would I have rather seen Denver and Russell Wilson and how he's? Yeah, I'd have liked to see that.
They say no first-year head coaches on that, but
so there's more criteria. There's a ton of there's like it comes down to there's only like 3 or 4 teams in the pool every year.
Right.
5 teams.
But it would be so compelling to see the Broncos on that and see how Sean Payton completely changes the culture there. Really,
yeah. All right, NBA made.
So is that like an incentive to make the playoffs? So you don't have to.
Yeah,
Hard Knocks?
yeah. I think there's a lot of incentives, but yeah, that'd be one of them. All right, NBA. This came down about an hour ago. NBA Board of Governors has approved 2 rule changes going to effect next season. First one, a second coach's challenge will be available to you. If the first challenge is successful, you get a second. This makes sense. Why am I getting penalized because the referee's made a wrong call? I call you on it, and now I lose my challenge for late in the game. Makes total sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. This one, to me, opens up a ton of cans of worms, but in theory, I like it. There's a in-game flopping penalty. All right, and both these rules were unanimously recommended by the Board of Governors. The flopping, the intent is to stop flopping in games. Guys faking fouls. When a referee calls a flop, there will be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team. The opposing team gets a free throw. Referees also will not have to stop the play to call a flop. They can wait until the next stop in live action if needed to make the call. So possession won't change. Flopping violations cannot be directly reviewed by a coach's challenge. They can, however, be added to a call during the review of a different play. So I'm watching to see if he stepped on the line. Oh, the dude totally flopped. There's some, I've watched some of these replays where dudes flop and like they got shot and like they're soccer players. Like they never get hurt and they just go down or they never get hit. Do you like this?
Like flopping is frustrating.
Yes.
And when you see it, you want to call it out.
Yes.
But then you're just adding another thing that you get duped by or think you saw something and did that really happen? Now it's foul, it's free throw.
How do you know when a guy's off balance and kind of gets hit and he goes down? Like Adrian's doing a great job right now. He's showing you a bunch of highlights on our simulcast on ProView Networks. Okay. And I watched some of this stuff and some of it's obvious flopping. Like you see an elbow thrown at LeBron's face, he just showed, and LeBron never got hit and his head snapped. Like, what are we doing? Okay, that's obvious. But sometimes a guy's off balance and kind of gets nudged and falls, and they would call flopping, right? I hate having to put more intense stuff on officials. Intent. Judging intent. The league has a pre-existing post-game flop violation structure, right? So this stays in place. There's a financial penalty. Fines begin at $2,000 and increase each time. Flops called during games are just the free throw. I think this is good. Like, how did you like the flopping rules in college this year?
I hate them.
Hate them. Hate them. A guy drives a baseline, there's a little contact. And again, if you've ever played the game, sometimes you can get, if you're set, like if you're in the post and a guy runs into you, you can just kind of barely move, right? Brace yourself with one step. If you're off balance and you get brushed a little bit, you can fall down, right?
Yes, you can.
And now I got a referee trying to gauge I freaking hate it. But this is where we are. All right, NBA's Adam Silver, the commissioner, has been talking about expansion too. This feels predetermined to me. This feels like this will happen, and they're going to Seattle and they're going to Vegas. Don't you feel that way?
Yes, I do.
So 100% on Seattle if they expand. Seattle should never have lost the Sonics. I lived up there for 5 years when the Sonics were good. I know what the passion is for that club. That fan base never deserved to lose it. I think there's great sports fans of the Pacific Northwest. They will become the team for that region, although there is a team in Portland, but they'll get all of Washington, Idaho, Montana. They'll become Sonic fans again. I love that. They should never have lost their team. Is it wrong that I'm kind of over the Vegas thing? And at some point, I feel like there's going to be a saturation in Vegas. I know they got a great arena. And I know that they absolutely hit a home run with the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know that I think they hit a home run with the Raiders. The A's going in, I'm super skeptical about. Like, it's 114 when we go to Vegas next week. How many people want to go sit at a baseball game?
You guys feel there'd be a roof involved, right?
I would imagine. Is Vegas big enough, corporate-wise, population-wise, and even travel-wise, to support a team in all four major sports? I
think it would be different too if it, like the Vegas Knights, it's theirs.
It is theirs, and I think that's a big deal, right? It's not stealing, taking a team from Oakland. So I do that. The Vegas Knights were the first one, and they were made and grown.
And there's an appetite for basketball.
Okay,
because people are coming in and out. If you look at those summer league games,
yep,
those stands are full.
No, that's right. Well, yes. I'm a little skeptical on that one. Does the NBA need to expand? Do you feel that there's enough talent to go around, or is it going to water it down? There's some bad basketball, dude.
I don't think the NBA needs to expand.
I don't either.
I think that 30 is great for them where they're at right now.
Now, there's plenty of players, okay? There's plenty of players who are good players. Are there plenty of NBA players?
Now, I think for the NBA, if they do expand, then that's where you need to find new ways to bring interest to the game. You need to figure out, okay, it's going to take time, but how do you make a midseason tournament meaningful? Because it can't be about money. Fans don't care about money. Fans don't care that players are playing for an extra $500,000.
Right.
That's going to fall on deaf ears. And so that's why I think initially the midseason tournament isn't going to work, because they're not playing for something. But I like the idea.
Well,
I like the
playing for a
direction.
cup, JJ. There's some sort of cup on the line.
But it's going to take time for fans to care.
I'm with you. Nobody
about
cares.
that.
Nobody cares.
What else can you do they care for? Because in other sports, they have in-season competition. It's only soccer. But when you have a season that's that long, if you want to expand your league, then you're going to have to find different impactful things of how can an in-season tournament be more meaningful than just money for the players, because fans don't care about that. Can it be something as if you're a playoff team? I don't know how you do that when you have the regular season factored in, but even at the end of the year, you talk about bad basketball. I'd love to see this with the lottery teams. At the end of the year, give me 2 weeks, and guess what? You want the number one overall pick, and now you got to go win some games to get it.
So the better team gets the number one pick.
You're talking about bad basketball. It doesn't just sit there and tank the season. You actually got to play for.
Would players play for that? Owners would care. Would players who know that they're probably not going to be on that team next year give a damn?
Well, then that you could also throw in cash at the end.
Yeah,
extra for their
everybody
like
likes gelt.
Yeah. But if you're talking about expansion, then you also have to talk about ways to make the basketball matter overall. For the course of the
what about baseball? I mean, baseball's talking expansion too, right? They're talking about Montreal, Nashville, Vancouver, Puerto Rico, Mexico City, San Antonio. I mean, I don't know. Does baseball need to expand too? Now they're uneven in leagues, right? I want to say there's 16 in one league and 14 in the other. Is that right? I think that's right. I might be. No, maybe there's 15. No, there is, because there's always a interleague game. So does baseball need to expand? I mean, there's plenty of players to fill out rosters. Are there plenty of really good? I don't know. What would it do if there's a team in Puerto Rico and Montreal, or a Nashville and San Antonio? Do you care more or less? I don't. If those are good markets, now I will argue with you that Vegas going into the National Hockey League, whether you like hockey or not, was good for the National Hockey League. Right? That's the most recent expansion. And Seattle, the Kraken going into Seattle was good for the National Hockey League. Right? Those two markets embraced it, loved it, and they've been competitive right away. Now that's because of the rules that they allowed them to be competitive right away. What's the next most recent expansion in the four major sports outside of the National Hockey League? What's the youngest team? Would it be Gosh, I don't even know.
I mean, are we talking Raptors, Grizzlies?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's been a while.
Who's the new? Are the Rays in that group? Rays, Marlins, the newest teams in baseball. I mean, when did the NFL expand?
Was the last one the Texans?
Yes. Did they come in with somebody? Panthers? The Titans were the Oilers.
I think it was a Panthers Jaguars.
I think you're right. It was Panthers Jaguars. You're 100% right.
Came in.
Yeah. So I think if the markets are right, and that's where, I don't know. Do I need expansion? No. Do the leagues need it? They feel they do. I just, to expand doesn't make sense to me. Speaking of expansion and movement, your guy Dan Patrick, who used to be on our air a lot, is describing what he thinks he knows about the Pac-12. It was a while back where he said, this week, San Diego State's going to the Pac-12. Well, that never happened. Well, he's got some bold predictions about the Pac-12, San Diego State, Mountain West schools. Going to get into the latest from him anyway, and what maybe that all means. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Registration is now open for the
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
said
Dan Patrick. So it was a year and a half ago, right? Where Dan Patrick came out and said, my sources tell me San Diego State's going to the Pac-12 and it's going to be announced this week, right? And it didn't happen. Dan Patrick came out again this week and kind of doubled down that he knows that San Diego State and SMU are going to the Pac-12. Boise State, you just heard what he talked about UNLV as well, being a market that they like, but it may be a long shot. Boise State fans over the last 2 days, and this is the only report, right? Is he the only guy that's been saying Boise State to the Pac-12, and then everybody else kind of jumped on that?
Yeah, and Boise State, if the Pac-12 stays as is, they're not getting in. The academics are an issue for Boise State.
Boise State academically does not fit anything the Pac-12's ever done. Now, the Pac-12 has a long history, a history of standard. But I got to believe that as this whole thing moves and evolves, I wonder if their standards change too. That makes sense? San Diego State has risen their academic profile, right? Mm-hmm. For that league to stay together, do they change their standards? Now, SMU is different than a Pac-12 school looks like, but they're a private faith-based school in Texas. SC was a private school. Stanford's a private school. All the rest of the Pac-12 schools have always been state universities. High academic institutions. I think Boise State fans getting a little bit over their skis excited. Boise State offers one thing that is a bit of a football tradition that has been no better than San Diego State's over the last 5 to 8 years. A television market that doesn't excite anybody. Facilities that are fine but not exceptional. The rest of an athletic program that's okay. A destination that doesn't entice them, and an academic institution that is not even anywhere near their standards. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a fair assessment.
So I don't know where the Boise State excitement is going. I still think San Diego State and SMU are going to the Pac-12. Now, that's if the Pac-12 stays together. Look, if one Jenga piece comes out of this thing, right? If Colorado comes out and says we're going to Big 12, and then who gets nervous? Utah, Arizona State. Oregon and Washington try to get into the Big 10 and take less than a full share, which is still more than what they're going to get in the Pac-12. The longer this whole Pac-12 media rights deal lingers and doesn't get done, and I told you this from the beginning, the longer this goes on, the more shaky it is. If the Pac-12 stays together, I believe San Diego State and SMU are part of it. Does anybody not?
Even a bad Power 5 deal would still bring in more money than
That's right.
Mountain West right now.
That's right.
Which is why San Diego State that door is wide open.
That's why Colorado State would go, New Mexico would go, UNLV would go. Boy, every one of these schools were sitting at that table going, well, we need to penalize them for if they want to come back in. You all would have done. Now, would they have handled it differently? I think it was handled poorly by Adela Della Torre, the president of San Diego State.
Do you
letter.
think they'll be penalized?
Who?
San Diego State. I think it's one where the Mountain West did the right thing.
Yes, I think the Mountain West handled it well.
To the rules that were agreed upon by everyone in the conference.
Yes.
But should welcome them back this year, and if they stay for however long, because they bring value to the conference.
So do you think the Mountain West should withhold, they're holding $6.2 million, whatever the number is. And I don't even think they have a right to, because we're going to litigate this thing. If they say we're withholding your share, San Diego State's going to say, why? We never resigned. Yes, you did. Here's a letter. That's not a resignation. That's an intent to resign, but we didn't resign. And we're going to litigate this thing. And really? Like, I think when it's all said and done, I agree with you. I think Gloria and the Mountain West has handled this the right way. They stuck to their guns. They stuck to the rules. They were strong. They didn't roll over for San Diego State. And they shouldn't have. I think when it's all said and done, they're all going to sit at a table and go, A, what can we do? Like, legally, can we, even if, okay, you and you want to fine them. You want them to have to pay their exit fee or pay some sort of a penalty. Our lawyers say, and I don't know what their lawyers say, can we win this if they take this? San Diego State said, we never resigned. We're a member of this league. Everybody in the world knows they would go if they had a place to go. Everybody in the world understands that they would go if they had a place to go. Everyone in the world would also go if they had a place to go.
That's also why I don't think the others, the president's ADs necessarily be chomping at the bit to want to throw fines at San Diego State, because what if they're the next school that's in that situation?
100%.
And has to kind of take a chance, but then that chance doesn't open up and come back and go, sorry, guys, but we're here.
All right. So what if you are Mexico, Wyoming, Utah State, San Jose State? You're not mentioned in any of this expansion talk, right?
No.
Do you want to hold their feet to the fire? You want to charge them? You got to stay in that room too.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Because I know it's business.
I think that's right. I think that's the right answer. We'll see where this goes. They're going to meet Monday. The board is.
It's just interesting because I know I saw that same Seinfeld thing y'all were talking about, that video that was popping on social media last week. I just wonder, it's interesting of who San Diego State sits down beside when they come in. Walking to Vegas, it's like,
hey guys, hey, yeah.
Oh look, we brought our cool helmets back. Can I put this on the table here?
How was your weekend? Zach Costanza? That JD Wicker?
JD, what's he doing?
What are you doing here? Vince, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Vince.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, congrats going out to Elias Diaz for being the first Rocky to win the MVP in the All-Star game. I know it's kind of just a free-for-all and it's just a fun All-Star game, but that was a great showing last night. Finally broke the streak of the National League, losing, I think it was 11 or 12 straight years that they lost.
Nine. Yeah.
Unfortunately, what makes the most sense for Rockies is to trade him right now. He's at the highest peak value. They've got him under team control for another year, but unfortunately, the Rockies don't make smart decisions, so we'll probably hang on to him. But either way, nice showing last night. Great job on that. On the conference realignment, when do USC and UCLA leave?
After this year. They're doing one more academic year and they're gone.
Okay. So, Oregon and UW are next. And I think San Diego State in the Pac-12 makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if the timing's right now. I think once they lose those other two Northwest schools, then I think you're talking about maybe the standards getting changed a little bit. Not that they have to lower the standards for San Diego State, but, I think they'll even entertain maybe the Fresno States of the world and some other teams like that. But I think eventually, just logistically, it just makes sense for so many kids from San Diego play in Southern Cal. I think it just makes sense for San Diego State to eventually be in the Pac-12. But great show again, guys.
Thanks, Vince. All right. So but if Oregon and Washington leave, then what's left? Because At that point, Big 12 is going to come in and try to poach Colorado, Arizona State, Utah. Or at least it seems that way. All right. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animal Hotline, and it is also the way for you to text the show. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Next up, is there another cover-up in college football? We watched this whole thing go down at Northwestern. Is there something going down that you need to see at Georgia as well? The cover-up tends to be worse than the initial infraction. We're going to get into that next. Hey, you got alarms at home. You got an alarm at your business, right? You probably installed security cameras. It's not enough. Aaron Jones started IPS, International Protective Service, to watch your home, watch your business. He's watching homes and businesses all over our city with highly trained armed guards and officers. Don't wait to be a victim of vandalism and theft. Call IPS. They offer you standing guards, 24-hour patrols to protect your home and business. They respond to alarms when they go off within 5 to 7 minutes with trained armed security officers. Keep the bad guys away. They prevent loss and damage to your property. Private security is affordable and it can save you money. Call IPS. Talk to them and see what they can do for you. I've trusted them for years and I know you can as well. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. Or they're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
Registration is now open for the Lobo Cancer Challenge.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the
AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Coming up at 9:50, the researchers at UCLA School of Medicine have determined how often you should poop. What? This is we're talking about Pac-12 institutions, higher education, great research institutions. You think they got a grant for that?
You know they did.
Like, this is really important, huh?
If it's published, Yeah, there's a grant.
It's a poop sheet.
It's a poop sheet. There's a misconception. Said gastroenterologist. What is the word? Gastroenterologist. Dr. Fallsdale May, an associate professor at the Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA. I'll tell you what that misconception. That's coming up at 10 till. How often you should poop, and are there right poop patterns? I mean, this is important stuff. This affects everybody, don't you think?
I hope so.
I mean, it kind of does, right? Text line says, didn't the Panthers and Jaguars addition to the NFL include the resumption of the Cleveland Browns and the realignment of the Seahawks? Expansion is rarely simple. Well, that's happened. And the addition of the Texans, right? And then
Here's a fun fact for you.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Nope.
That the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Lions division. The Lions haven't won a division.
I know Tampa Bay used to be in that division. Well, I mean, you go back, the Seahawks used to be in the AFC West. They used to be in the same division with the Broncos and the Raiders.
And that kind of made sense, didn't it?
Well, sure it did. And then when we moved everything around, because the Rams used to be in the same division of the Falcons.
Oh, the NFC West makes sense.
But then they moved the Seahawks to the NFC. The Cardinals were always in the same division as the Cowboys, which made sense. The Cowboys are somehow in the NFC East. Like, how many more teams in the NFC are east of Dallas than Dallas that should be in there? Well, plenty of them, right? Plenty of them. But they're in the NFC East. I know. None of it makes sense. It's never simple. You're right. Text line says, Romo was a better quarterback in my opinion. Dak has inflated stats and winning totals against all-time bad NFC East teams the past 4 years, while Romo was putting up his numbers against good Eagles, Giants, and Redskins teams. It's from Chris. Okay. He's on Romo. I got a text from Mo. We got to find it, though. It says, from my most fanatic Cowboy friend, it's Romo. Underrated as a quarterback. Dak's got heart, but limited skill set. Romo elevated his teams. Dak needs help. Romo's better at the swap ball. Didn't have talent around him like Dak. Dak's rookie year was Hall of Fame material, never duplicated. We asked the question earlier, Cowboy fan, who's better quarterback, Dak or Tony Romo? Numbers were like almost identical.
Yeah, if you reversed it and Tony Romo is playing right now and Dak had done that, then the answer would be Dak.
Yeah. That's probably right. All right, am I staring at another cover-up in college football? Is something going on at Georgia? We got this whole hazing thing that came out this week. And by the way, how about the fact that the Northwestern hazing stuff was basically broken by the student newspaper? The student newspaper led the reporting on this one. Like, they beat the Chicago Tribune and Times and all the national media on this. Like, this was a bunch of student reporters. I guess they're getting jobs, huh?
Where?
In the week that the New York Times eliminated their sports page and their whole sports department, young journalists at Northwestern broke a huge story. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Good for them, man. That's cool.
Wow. All right, so Georgia. Officials are objecting to allegations that the football program turned a blind eye to a sexual assault and that there's reports there. There's a newspaper in Atlanta that is reporting that the school has taken sexual assaults allegations lightly, that it's been prompted by the head coach Kirby Smart and school officials to hold a rare briefing with a group of media members to defend themselves yesterday. Quote, this is Kirby Smart now, the head coach at Georgia. We take these allegations extremely seriously. I take these allegations extremely seriously. We do not tolerate sexual misconduct in our organization. I'm a football coach. I'm responsible for this program. And it starts with me. I see this through the lens of I have a wife and a daughter. When I think about these situations, I think about them. It's personal to me. But I will not tolerate false accusations that this program or this university condones sexual misconduct. We have no tolerance for sexual assault or abuse. Never have, never will. End quote. So where's this all coming from? Why did Kirby Smart feel that he had to gather local media in the middle of July to defend himself? Well, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported that 11 players, 11, during Kirby Smart's tenure, remained with the team after women reported violent encounters to the police or to the university. Now, the paper did not identify the 11 players. They referenced incidents involving 3 players. You know where I am with this, man. It's hard for me just to jump on allegations. And I'm going to blindly, and I know this tends to backfire, I like to trust that the school, the program, the university, the coaches, the administration would investigate this.
Baylor has entered the chat.
I understand. No, I understand. And I don't know what the percentages are that there's allegations that are unfounded as opposed to this really happened. We have seen plenty of times where there's been allegations that have soiled somebody's reputation that were proven to not be what they were.
Yeah, but when you get to 11 plus or 10 plus,
there's a lot there.
That leads me to believe there's a cover up going on. Like they were making sure that these dudes that are playing for national championships are going to get in trouble.
And who are these guys, right?
That worries me. And you just see that. That's why in these stories, Bob Huggins, Pat Fitzgerald, because everyone's on their side. No one believes something bad can happen. No one believes that these dudes are going to do anything bad like that. And so there's always caution with these stories. But when it's that number and not just, one incident party, like I'm leaning towards, I can believe a university, a city, campus police can brush things aside.
Well, I just watched the Real Sports Brian Gubble on HBO on Matt Araiza, the former San Diego State punter, who was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, the punt god, who then the allegations came out that he was involved in a gang rape. The Bills let him go, and he was cleared by the district attorney in San Diego, who the investigators determined he was not at the party at the time it happened. He admitted that they had consensual sex, that he was there, but not. He always admitted or said he wasn't part of this, and that's what the officials said. He still has not gotten a job. The Jets may invite him for a tryout. And so, to your point, when there's 11 of them, and then they got the speeding thing going on there, right? He also said, did Kirby Smart yesterday, that he hasn't yet solved the speeding issue that's plagued his team, but he's constantly looking and searching. I've never heard a team that's got a issue with guys who can't go under 100 miles an hour in their car. Last week, again, another one of their players was ticketed for driving 88 and a 55. You're like, Jeff, so what? Well, this is the same place that had, right after the championship, a staff member and a player died in a crash. They've had 11 traffic-related moving violations involving Georgia players in their cars since January 15th. Remember, that's when Devin Willock, a football staff member, and Chandler LaCroix were killed in the wreck when police alleged that LaCroix's SUV was racing a car driven by another player. Do you ever recall a program like a group that's had excessive speeding problems? I've heard problems with speed, but no, this was weird to me. I mean,
racing
young people like to get in the cars and go fast. I get it. We all like to go zoom, zoom. This one's crazy to me. There's a lot of smoke, man. But you know what? You know what Kirby Smart does? Tell me what he does. Come on, Oh, he wins. Kirby Smart wins at Georgia. And this quote is insane to me. This Kirby Smart. NIL has given some of our players, and players in general, the capacity to get probably faster cars. It's not necessarily just the volume of speeding tickets. It's the speed of the speeding tickets. And that's a bigger concern to me. the speed of the speeding tickets, because high speeds, according to the Georgia State Patrol, which talked to our team, is where you get bigger accidents. That's the biggest concern we have in regard to that, end quote. Oh, you mean when you go faster, the accidents are more serious? Come on.
Considering they had a fatal wreck,
right,
like 6 months ago, or
one
whatever
of your buddies died, and a young lady staff member died. It doesn't matter. I mean, but he's winning, dude. But he's winning. So, all right, I'll wrap it up for you when we get back. We will wrap it up for you. Everything you need to know as you go on through your day, and the results of that survey from UCLA. How often should you poop? It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We're going to be talking about as you walk around today. Elias Diaz was the MVP of the All-Star Game. National League breaks a 9-game losing streak, beats the American League in the All-Star Game, Major League Baseball yesterday in Seattle. 3-2 was the final. Jets are going to be on Hard Knocks. Became official today. NBA's got 2 rule changes for next year. You get a second challenge if your first challenge is right. If you succeed on your first challenge in the coach's challenge, and flopping will be a technical foul. Great. And they're looking to expand in Major League Baseball once they solve the A's and the Rays stadium situation. Feel better about it? That's what they're going to be talking about as you go through the day. All right, JJ, there's a study. This is our greatest, brightest educational scientific minds.
Pac-12.
UCLA, the Geffen School of Medicine, just conducted a big, giant study. How often should you poop? And the answer is so damn disappointing to me. Okay, if you're going to do a big study and publish it, you need to be fairly specific with your results, don't you?
Yes. Yes, you do.
According to Dr. Michael Camilleri, a consultant and professor in the Division of Gastroenterology at UCLA. No, he's at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, sorry. Most people will have anywhere between a bowel movement up to 3 times a day to 3 times per week. Anywhere in that range we consider normal. So wait a minute. Anywhere from 3 to 21 poops a week is normal? Isn't that a hell of a range? I'm sorry that I disappointed you and overteased you, because this is crap. Oh, wait, sorry what I did there. I didn't mean to do that. But when you're going to conduct a study, your normal can't be anywhere between 3 and 21 a week. Can it be?
I don't think 3 a week is normal.
Nor do I. I mean, where do you do all your reading? My grandmother used to call the bathroom, where's Grandpa? He's in the library. And I'd go in there, and the library had like a week's worth of LA Times sports pages and an ashtray. Right? I mean, God bless it. I still remember that, like, grandma bathroom smell. Anyway, when it comes to this as a measure of health, according to these geniuses at UCLA, frequency is not the only important factor, DC. So it's not. Add several factors. There's a bunch of factors that can influence how often we poop, including your diet, no kidding, hydration, stress, age, medication, and social circumstances. Dude, they had everybody in there. The UMass was in on this. Harvard was in on this. UCLA, the Mayo Clinic.
You know why, Jeff?
Tell me.
Everybody poops.
Great book. Have you read it to Austin?
Don't need to.
Do you have that book?
I don't think we had that one.
Oh.
Not a problem.
It's a great book. It's a great children. Everybody poops. Ants poop. Elephants poop. Dogs poop. You poop. We all poop. Right. I'm not gonna. You can find this on your own, because it says it's helpful to know what your poop looks like in addition to just how often you poop. This is science, boys and girls. This is some of our brightest minds spent the last bunch of years, and this is what they came up with. The stool form, appearance, or consistency of the bowel movement is actually a much better criterion than. All right.
How do you think you get into the Big Ten? Dude. Dropping nuggets like that.
But if you're pooping 3 times per week and the consistency is hard or pebble-like, that could be fine if you haven't experienced any change in your quality of life. All right, should I be done with this? Please make me done with this. Sorry. I just thought this would be helpful as you go on. So basically, every one of us is normal. If the normal number is 3 to 21, then we're good. We're all fine.
There's someone out there saying I'm closer to 30. Is that bad?
Thank you for this on the text line. Wait till the end of the show to dump this on us. See what I did there?
Smooth.
Wait till the end of the show to dump this on us. Yeah, that's what I did. Appreciate you. All right, what do I get today? I got an All-Star break. What am I getting? I got to go. Oh, wait, there is something tonight. I got the ESPYs tonight. Do you guys like the ESPYs? Because I kind of do. I know it's manufactured. It's made for. I get all that. It's become a deal to the athletes. Like, is this? I'm not a big award show guy either. But do you like the ESPYs?
I'm indifferent on the ESPYs.
Will you watch it tonight?
I will not watch it.
Okay. Will you?
I will probably not watch it, but I am interested to see how they treat Joker. Yeah, well, yeah, because I mean, the story is basically ESPN talked the world out of giving him a third MVP, and now they're about to give him an ESPY, so that could be interesting.
You think so? What does he get? Best athlete? What does he get?
I cannot remember. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I haven't looked at all the categories. Do you know that it was 30 years ago this week that Jimmy V gave his speech? The Jimmy Valvano speech, be brought to tears every day. And the best part of that speech was when he says the thing's flashed in 30 seconds, like I care. He says, my body's covered. I got tumors all over my body, and I got some guy back there tell me 30 seconds. It's like one of the best speeches, period, ever. That was 30 years ago, which is insane. What's Joe Crep for? Best male athlete?
Male athlete, NBA player, and championship performance.
So who's up for best NBA player? Him and Embiid? I mean, Embiid was the NBA MVP. But I guess this would take into account the playoffs, right? Where the MVP would not take into account playoffs.
Tatum and Butler are also on that
list.
list.
It's easy. He's got to win that. Who's up for male athlete? Who else is on the list for male athlete? I'm going to get, who else would you think this year? Male athlete. Mahomes?
Mahomes is on the list. Yeah.
Who else?
Aaron Judge.
Oh, yeah.
And Messi.
That's Aaron Judge, isn't it? After what he did this year?
Man,
at the World Cup.
Yeah, that's 62 home runs.
Yeah. Where are you going? See, this is why it's good, right? This is good. I'm not big on list radio, but this is awards. This is and all encompassing the world.
Messi in that final, man. That was.
Don't
special.
say Messi on this segment we're doing. How often is it to poop? I see what you did there. I see. Oh, was that not right?
No, that was slick. I like that.
You like Messi over Judge?
That's 62. That is a big number. And
all right.
I don't know. A lot of people consider that the record. So
I'm going to go with Judge. What will they do for Brittany Griner? There's going to be something in here, right? Like, I don't know what, there's the Arthur Ashe Award, which is, I believe, a Courage Award. Is she up for something? Because it just feels like it's right up kind of on brand with this show, don't you think? To create something there?
Of course, ESPN would do that.
Well, no. I mean, they tend to. What am I trying to say here? I don't know. Do you think they do something for Brittany Griner? I don't know what it'll be. Is there something on your list there that said that?
No, she has no nominations.
All right. What's a female athlete? All right. What's best team of the year? So we look at Vegas. We look at teams that won, right? We're looking at the Chiefs. We're looking at Vegas. We're looking at UConn basketball. We're looking at Aces won the WNBA, and I guess that was a really big deal, right? Who's the defending World Series? It's Houston. Houston won't win that. Nuggets.
Nuggets are on it. Chiefs.
Nuggets, Chiefs. What else you got?
Georgia football.
Are the Aces on there?
They are. Yep.
Yeah, the Aces are going to win that. I think they're going to win that. All right, have fun with that tonight. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4 o'clock. Then we'll come back with award-winning radio starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Adrian, it looks really good on the TV side, and thanks for all the accompaniment of the video that is all very relevant as we talk. DC, great work. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Yeah, enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.